The British Isles South District Church of the Nazarene Finance Committee report to the District Assembly, 25th of April 2020. The committee met to consider the financial activities of the district over the financial year ended the 30th of September 2019, and they met to review the accounts information produced by the district treasurer prior to their audit, consider and set the various district budgets for churches on the district for the year ended the 30th of September 2020, consider and set the recommended remuneration level for the various officers of the district, offer advice to the District Advisory Board in respect of financial transactions undertaken that are reflected in the accounts, review the accounts produced by the auditors for presentation to the District Assembly before final approval by the trustees. Susan has worked hard to ensure that all the financial transactions undertaken by the district have been reflected in the books and records. This is a complex and time-consuming job, and we appreciate all of the time and effort that Susan has contributed. Susan will bring and report to the District Assembly on the accounts of the Church of the Nazarene in the British Isles South District. These were discussed in length at our November meeting, and the matters raised, where appropriate, incorporated into the final audited accounts. The domestic budgets. The total domestic budgets, which excludes NMI, for the year ended the 30th of September 2019 were £110,779, and the amount actually received was £105,528, which equates to 95.26%. In 2019, it was 97%. Thank you to all of the churches for your continued support of the District College Ministers Benevolence Fund and District NYI and NMI. The work that is done is only possible through your ongoing support. Our thanks go to many of you who have already started making payments towards the 2020 district budgets, or indeed paid these in full. The gift aid scheme. David Hughes manages claims for many of our churches who have registered as charitably incorporated organisations, who now have their own gift aid schemes. David also assists local churches to claim under the small donation scheme. This can amount to £2,000 in the 2021 tax year, and is claimed in respect of individual donations of up to £30. This previously was £20. You will, of course, need to record these donations in order to make the claim. Our thanks to David Hughes for all his hard work in making these claims for us. Domestic and World Evangelism Fund budgets. Bearing in mind the continuing challenging financial climate, the committee decided that no change would be made to the budget assessment percentage adopted by the 2014 District Assembly. Please continue to send the payments for domestic budgets to Susan and for WEF and NMI to myself. That will change obviously during the year when Susan steps down, and I'm sure that she will let you know where you ought to send the amounts that are appropriate to the district. Policy manual for the British Isles Nazarene churches. You will be aware that as charities, each church has a responsibility to its employees, members, and the general public to ensure that the work undertaken by the charity is carried out safely and responsibly. The districts of the British Isles have produced a policy manual which contains standard policies and guidelines covering many areas of the work churches undertake. You need to apply these policies in the life and work of your church, as breaches of the policies can have serious consequences. The Workplace Pension Scheme. The pension scheme with Standard Life for the South District churches is being managed by Susan, our district treasurer. Please assist her in this task by replying promptly to her inquiries and paying all liabilities due on time. The total pension contributions due under this scheme remain at 8% from April 2020, and our recommendation has always been that 5% of this minimum figure should be met by the local church. Stipends and pastors' remuneration. The remuneration for the North and South Districts of the British Isles Church of the Nazarene, prepared by the National Board, was proposed in the District Advisory Board report. The real living wage, effective from April 2020, is £9.30 per hour across the UK and £10.75 per hour in London. This will mean that the minimum recommended stipend for a full-time pastor living in a manse is set at £23,600 and in London at £27,280 from April 2020. Other elements of the minimum recommended remuneration package are set out in the remuneration policy, which has been widely circulated to churches on the district. Recommendations. Number 1, the base for the budgets for the year ended the 30th of September 2020 be the total of the regular tithes and offerings received during the year ended the 30th of September 2019, less any funds raised and expended for the purchase of buildings under the BISD 2012 model deed. 2, the interest applied to church loans continue at 2% above the Bank of England base rate. Where financial statements are not received by the deadline, an estimated budget base will be used, being an increase of 5% on the budget base for the year ended the 30th of September 2019. The budget assessment for the year ended the 30th of September 2020 is set out in the appendix to this report. 4, the stipends and other remunerations paid by the district be set for the district superintendent's salary at £29,025, which is an increase of 3.3%, in line with the increase in the real living wage. And the honorariums paid to the district treasurer are set at £3,100 and the district secretary at £1,000. Honorariums for assistants to the district treasurer and secretary to be set at half of the above amounts. Respectfully submitted, David Day, Chairman, Paul Salmons, Secretary.